In this short screencast, we are going to look at bibliographies. We will cover the order that bibliographies need to be in, the way they are formatted, the location within your document or assessment, how they relate to citations, and whether they count towards your overall word count. Your bibliography must be arranged alphabetically by author's surname in ascending order. That means that you start with names beginning with A. So here on this bibliography, you can see Adichie is at the very start, and they appear before names such as Entwistle and Posner, which are further down in the A to Z list. Company names, such here, like we've got Stella McCartney, and films, like here we've got The True Cost, should also be placed in the correct alphabetical order. If there were two authors with the same surname, so if we had two Smiths, then you would arrange them by initial, with the person with the initial A would come ahead of someone with the initial B. And then if there were two things by the same author, then you would use the title to put them in the correct alphabetical order. You must also make sure that your bibliography is formatted correctly. Your references must be written in a very particular way, with specific bits of information placed in the correct order. It is important that you stick to the examples in the UCA Harvard Guide, making sure that brackets, full stops, and other characters are placed correctly. If you go to our Harvard referencing pages and under bibliographies, it will show you the correct formatting and punctuation for each type of material. Like here, there's an example for books print. But also if you go to our Harvard referencing guide, at the very front, it lists all the different types of material. So for example, here, if I click on websites, it will show me the correct punctuation and layout to reference a website. So the location of your bibliography is always at the end of your assignment. Usually you find it placed on a new page right at the end. It will be after the list of illustrations here, like in this example, and at the very end of your essay. If your assignment includes appendices, place your bibliography at the end of the assignment, but before the appendices. You must always match your citations. Every citation used in your writing should have a corresponding bibliography entry. Make sure that the year of publication and surnames in your citation match those in your bibliography as well. Like for example here, we've got a citation by Gell 2010, and we've got some page numbers. And then if I go to the bibliography, I can find Gell there 2010. You must make sure that everything that you cite does match with something in the bibliography. A bibliography contains all of the things that you've cited during the course of your work, but sometimes your tutors may ask you to include things that you have read but not referenced. Sometimes this is called a reference list, but generally if you're unsure, it's best to check with your tutor whether you can or can't include things that you've read but haven't cited from. So your bibliography is excluded from your word count. By default, when you upload something to Turnitin or you write a document in Word, it will include every single word in the document for the word count. But when you're writing an essay, you need to exclude the bibliography to get the total.